For the last 3 years, I've had three main jobs: husband, dad, and student. One is about to end. In a matter of days, I cease being a student. I know some will be wondering why a dad is a student in the first place. Well, that's a story for another day. This film is about my fears for the future. I hate 9 to 5 jobs, and there's little diversity in the British media. Creativity, though, is my passion. I am of Nigerian heritage, and that tag is often negative. This time, it is positive. Because Nigeria now has the third largest film industry in the world. My quest is to find out if there's room for me and possibly how.
Nollywood is a growing industry. They're still improving, even though they've done very well. Nollywood has so many talents, upcoming talents, and Nollywood has a lot of veterans, actors and actresses. Well, how can I describe it? I think that's what I can describe. We make films and we get it out. The thing is, you can wake up one morning as a director, someone give you a script. In Nigeria, they can start filming that thing within 2 days.
We all know the Nollywood industry is mainly back home in Africa and Nigeria, so we don't always have that opportunity to travel on a regular basis, and I feel that Nollywood UK has given people like me out here that opportunity and that window, if you like, for us to come out and show ourselves.
Nigeria is a young industry. It doesn't have the money, it has the energy, and maybe it has the will, and it has the enthusiasm. It's almost a guerrilla film industry at the moment. It's at that level.
It's an issue I've seen with most of the people who studied film here. Most of them have just done the theoretical work and they come out castigating Nollywood. By the end of the day, a couple of things I've seen by your UK trained directors and producers has been embarrassing.
The challenges I face is similar to every challenge any independent filmmaker would make, particularly because when you're coming out, you don't have any money, and if you don't have any money, you've got to be creative. With the camera you have, trying to get stuff, for free to make things happen. And that's what we did when we did my first short film and Unspoken as well, because we pulled in a couple of favors, and we were able to get cameras, and actors who were willing to work for us for the benefit of the story that we had.
I graduated in 2001. And you leave university and it's more of you have this big plan of what you're going to do with your life. And then kind of reality sets in and you find yourself boxed in what's available than what you actually studied. Most of us are too impatient to want to practice what actually we study. So we end up doing things far away from what we actually study. And that was one of those cases.
We have talents in the UK, Nollywood. The only thing I would suggest or I would advise Nollywood UK is when you make a film, yes, do the premiere, fantastic, let people come and watch the film for the first time, then get the film out, let people watch it on TV, DVD, whatever format or platform. Just get it out. Let people get to know more about Nollywood UK.
The main issue always for any filmmaker, individual filmmaker or any film industry in any country is always recognition for what you're doing. It's getting distributed, it's getting exhibited, it's getting your film to an audience.
On one hand, Nollywood has its own challenges itself because we still don't have a proper distribution model in terms of how a lot of people are going to make their money back. I mean, there've been some VOD platforms that have come up. When you have someone like Jason who does Iroko TV, and other channels that have come, other VOD channels that have come up.
As an industry as a whole, I think in order to progress and develop, we have to collaborate. That also adds to the quality of our films as well. And it's happening already. Like, for example, the successful film 30 Days in Atlanta, which was filmed and shot in Atlanta in America, with Hollywood film stars collaborating with Nigerian filmmakers, has been a success so far.
It's whether or not you can get those films in front of people, which sounds like the obvious thing to say, but it isn't the audience. It's getting them in front of someone who can go, I can see a market for this.
Most of us who learnt back home, we learnt on the job. We learnt from the guys who learnt on the job. So it's like I tell people, most of us were living in a box. We couldn't think outside the box. But for anyone who's gone out of Nigeria, who's living in the UK and everything, you have the ability to think out of the box and act outside the box. And with that, my advantage is massive.
We don't tell stories about our past heroes. We don't tell stories about things of monumental impact. Which is bad, which is sad. Ojukwu was a great man who never ruled Nigeria, but he almost created a country. They haven't told a story about him. They haven't told the story about the coups that happened in Nigeria. They haven't told the story about the independence, what the consequences of the independence was.
I think the way people used to do films back 5-10 years ago has completely changed, because everything has been democratized, that anybody could be a filmmaker. I mean, everybody is literally a walking enterprise. So you have to be a creative entrepreneur. You've got to think of yourself as a tech company, running your own company yourself as a CEO and building a network of people, because it's going to be tough doing it on your own. So you've got to form a team of people to really take your vision to the next level.